This is the story of the night Medusa tried to escape her fate. We all know the monster, the hideous Gorgon, the trophy for a hero. But we're asking the wrong question. We ask, how was she killed? We should be asking, what did she know? What if the real horror isn't the snakes on her head, but the moment she realized she was trapped, that the gods had already marked her for tragedy? And what if her infamous curse wasn't a punishment, but something else entirely? This isn't the story of a monster. This is the story of an escape and its failure. So, who was Medusa before the legend? She was not born a monster. She was one of 3 sisters, the Gorgons. But her sisters, Stheno and Euryale, were immortal. Medusa was not. She was mortal. And in the most famous version of her tale, she was a human maiden, a priestess, so beautiful and so devout that she served in the sacred Temple of Athena, the goddess of wisdom and warfare. Ovid tells us her beauty was renowned, but her greatest glory was her hair. It was the envy of all, and she was, by all accounts, a virgin, pure, and dedicated to her goddess. She was everything a priestess should be. But in the world of the Greeks, that kind of purity, that kind of beauty, doesn't attract blessings. It attracts gods. And that, right there, is the beginning of the end. Her devotion, her beauty, it wasn't a shield, it was a target. So if she was so perfect, so devout, why was she in that temple running for her life? And who was she running from? Her beauty did not go unnoticed by the Olympians, and the god who saw her, who wanted her, was none other than Poseidon, the lord of the sea, the earth-shaker. Poseidon desired her, he hunted her, and this is the moment, this is the night of our story. She fled from him. She ran to the one place in the world she believed would be safe, the one person she thought would protect her, her patron, her goddess. She ran into the sacred inner sanctum of Athena's temple. She ran to the very foot of Athena's statue, clinging to its base, praying for help, for salvation. The gods did not listen. Poseidon, uncle to Athena, showed no respect for his niece's sacred space. He seized Medusa, and he violated her on the cold marble floor of the holy temple, an act of sacrilege, dominance, and unimaginable cruelty. This was Medusa's escape, a terrified sprint that ended in tragedy. She tried to escape the fate of being wanted by a god, and in doing so, sealed a new, more terrible one. She was now a victim. Surely, Athena, the goddess of wisdom and justice, would strike down Poseidon for this, right? This is the part of the story that turns your blood to ice. Athena did appear. The virgin goddess was enraged. Her sacred temple, her space, had been defiled, polluted. But who to punish? Poseidon? Her uncle? A fellow Olympian? One of the big 3? No, she couldn't, or she wouldn't. So she turned her divine rage on the victim. Athena blamed Medusa. She blamed her for luring Poseidon. She blamed her for the crime of being beautiful. She blamed her for the weakness of being assaulted. And so, the goddess of wisdom decided on a punishment. The glorious hair, the very feature that had attracted the god, Athena changed to foul snakes. She was remade. She was cast out, exiled, and her name was made a curse. The beautiful, devout maiden was gone. In her place was the monster. This was the final moment, the moment she knew her escape had failed. The gods were not just. They were not kind. They were cruel, petty, and powerful. Her life was over. Or was it? We've been asking the central question, what if the curse wasn't a punishment? Think about it. What did the curse do? Athena took the hair that attracted Poseidon and turned it into a crown of vipers, a warning. And her face, her eyes, she was given a gaze that turns any man who looks upon her to stone. The night Medusa tried to escape her fate, she failed. The gods marked her for tragedy. But Athena, in her cold, terrible wisdom, didn't just punish her, she armed her. The curse wasn't a punishment. It was a perverse, horrific gift. It was a twisted, cruel form of protection. Athena, in her rage, had given Medusa the one thing she needed that night in the temple, a weapon. No man would ever touch her against her will again. We started this journey looking at a monster, a trophy for Perseus to hunt. But the ancient sources, when read, show us the truth. The horror isn't her face. The horror is the reason for it. We don't see a monster anymore. We see a victim of a terrible crime, punished by her own goddess for being assaulted. We see a woman whose only escape from the casual cruelty of the powerful was to become something so terrifying that no one would ever dare hurt her again. Medusa's story is a tragedy of divine injustice, but it leaves us with a chilling question. How many monsters from our own past were just victims, whose stories were rewritten by the heroes who hunted them?